I want to just yell something that came from the... Watch the Rooster Teeth Let's Play of WWE 2013. The line that Gavin yells out when his character makes his entrance right after the core pirate. I love that line. I don't know why. It's just like, live in fear. But, yeah, look at how nice... I'm trying to angle this so we can see it all. But look at how nice my hotel room is. This is a La Quinta. I've mentioned before, I'll mention again, I stay at La Quintas because I get a discount to stay at La Quintas. And, what is this? Is that my stuff? Yes, it is. Look at my stuff on the counter there. See? I've got this thing upside down and backwards. Okay, I want to turn it that way and I want to turn it down. Yay! I've got stuffs. Okay. Look at this too. This is pretty sweet. Once again, got to kind of get it into shot. This is a new garment bag. I had a garment bag. It was a really cheap one from Men's Warehouse. And when I went to put my suit in it this morning, the zipper just broke right off. And I couldn't close it again. So I had to go out and an emergency buy a new one. I'm going to see if I can get set on the bed. Let's stare at a lamp. There we go. Okay, what's that black spot on the lamp? Oh, those are little pins. Those are supposed to be there. Well, isn't that handy? Move a little bit closer to me. I want to see the microphone. So, today marks the very first time, literally the very first time, that I have flown out of the Fort Lauderdale airport and not had a problem. This is a momentous occasion. It deserves to be celebrated. I've gone over some of my flight issues before. Today, perfect. I did get to the airport a little bit later than I wanted to. That's mostly my fault. I had set a 1 o'clock departure time from my house, and my flight time was at 3:25, so that was giving me basically 2.5 hours to get to the airport and get ready. However, I had to stop at a Walgreens along the way to pick up some toothpaste. Because my toothpaste, you might have seen it, I couldn't tell very well from the video, but you might have seen I have just like the littlest nubbin of toothpaste left in my tube, so I wanted to make sure I had a backup tube. And while I was there, I also picked up some thank you cards, because one of the things that you should do, and this isn't just for me talking about the pharmacy world, this is for you and for everybody. If you're going to interview somewhere, you better be sending a handwritten thank you card to the people who took time out of their busy day to talk to you. Plus, you know, it's totally like a kiss-ass move, and it's good etiquette. So you win like on all three fronts. So I bought some thank you cards, and overall that put me back about 20-25 minutes. So I was running later than I would like. You know, still plenty of time. I arrived at the airport. I had a little bit of time to kill before I had to, you know, line up and get on the plane, but it was pretty good. Flew to Houston first, had an hour and a half layover in Houston. I ate at a Subway that was there. They have other restaurants, but considering the amount of money that I've put out of pocket for like hotel rooms and rental cars and flights, I figured eating something, you know, cheaper would be better. Plus you get fresh vegetables, and that's always good. But I did buy a milkshake. They have a place called Papa's Burgers in the Houston airport, and they make hand-spun milkshakes. So I got a peanut butter chocolate milkshake. It comes with a straw that's about the size of like your arm, so that you can suck it up. But it was very tasty. I got a small one, just enough. Then the stupid part of the flight here is I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Houston, Houston to Dallas, Dallas to Oklahoma City, and you know, what's the point of that? Which is slightly better than another flight that was offered, which was Fort Lauderdale to Austin, Austin to Houston, Houston to Dallas, Dallas to Oklahoma City. I said, why would you even, why do flights exist from Austin to Houston, or from Houston to Dallas? Tillman, when I was in Dallas, came from Austin. He came from Austin to visit me, which is a couple hours. Houston to Dallas is a couple hours of driving. Do you really need to fly from Houston to Dallas and then fly back from Dallas to Houston when you could just drive? I don't know. Maybe business moves so fast that you got to be there in person, but why are you flying out at 7 o'clock at night? Anyway, I'm at a La Quinta. I love La Quinta. It's an incredibly nice La Quinta. Oh, you didn't even get to see this. Womp, womp, womp. Look at that. There's art on the wall. Because why wouldn't there be art on the wall in my excellent La Quinta? Womp, 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 womp. You get to stare at this wall again. See? There's our friendly lamp that lets us know that this is an Eldrick the Fourth video. So yeah, the residency program director actually picked me up at the airport. He was waiting outside of security for me. And then he drove me to the hotel in his own car. And we got to talk along the way. And he's going to come back in the morning to pick me up, or go out to breakfast, and then we'll go do the rest of the interview. This is a slightly shorter interview. It's only 8 to 2 instead of 8 to 3. And there's a rainstorm coming in. And so he's going to take me to the airport, and we're going to see if maybe I can get a flight out earlier than I expected. Because I originally scheduled the 7 o'clock at night flight out. And I have a hotel room in Houston, because I was going to have to stay overnight in Houston. So if it does work out that I leave on an earlier flight, I'll probably get back to Florida tomorrow night. And that means that you guys will get one less Travlogmore video, because I won't be staying in Houston overnight tomorrow. But we'll see. I kind of just like vegging a little bit. I mean, I'm here, it's going to be pretty stressful. The quote-unquote puddle jumper flights, very short flights, like going from Houston to Dallas and then Dallas to Oklahoma City. By the way, Houston to Dallas, it's like a 30-40 minute flight, and Dallas to Oklahoma City is like a 30-minute flight. Those tear my stomach up. I get so nauseous feeling, because if you ever get a chance, go and look at the way those flights happen. Look at the kind of parabolic arc that the planes make. The whole point is that they get really high up into the atmosphere and then they come right back down. And it just kills my stomach. I already mentioned, I get very nauseous. I've never thrown up or anything after those flights, but it just churns my insides. The other thing about flying is it always makes me feel dehydrated. I always get very thirsty. If you go to visit me in Arizona, my mom will come to the airport to pick you up. You call her on your cell phone and you tell her north side or south side and what door number you're at, and she'll come pick you up. And then when you get in the car, she will have a bottle of water or a can of soda for you. This has happened without fail my entire life. There will be a drink waiting for you, because when you get off the plane, your mouth is dry. You're very thirsty. They give you those tiny little bits of drink while you're on the plane, if you're on one of the good airlines that actually does that. Southwest. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But anyway, I've got a little bit of stuff to do. Oh, by the way, you know what's really fun? Fly from Houston to Dallas with a bunch of business people and watch the Apple Family Reunion episode. You've got headphones on, so it's not like everybody has to listen to it. But I just love, there was this one guy watching over my shoulder, because I was watching another video I had downloaded, and it's a parody sketch about college football. And so he was watching over my shoulder thinking that I was watching a show about football. And then suddenly it turns into My Little Pony. And I didn't get to see his face because he was behind me and to the right. I could just see that he was glancing over every so often. But total change in environment for him, I'm guessing. Yeah. But, you know, this is the program. The other program that I went to interview at, I'm interested in it. I'm very interested in it. There's a lot of opportunity there and a lot of things that I could learn. But I think overall, the program here in Oklahoma is the one that I prefer. Like, if they both said, you got the job, but you got to pick one of the two, I'd probably pick the one in Oklahoma. Partly because it's closer to home. And I don't know. I mean, there's so many different little things. Partly because it's closer to home. I even told the guy when we were driving over here, I've never been in Oklahoma. Like, I've never been to the Oklahoma airport, because it's not a hub. You never fly through it. And the only time I've gone through Oklahoma is when I drove. And if you go back, and some of those Travlogmores might be on there, or I might not have even mentioned it back then. But at the time, Oklahoma, I considered it the ugliest state in the union. Because when Tioman and I drove through Oklahoma, they were doing construction. They had dug up these giant piles of dirt, and that is all we saw the entire way through Oklahoma was just dirt the whole way through. And so I considered it very ugly. My cousin, however, used to live in Oklahoma, and I think it was even in Oklahoma City. And he loves this place. Even getting to visit with me at home. I used to go all the time when I was in after undergrad, but before pharmacy school. I used to drive to his house every weekend and spend all day Saturday there. I'd get there like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would drive home. And sometimes I got home at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I would, it was so late where I could just sleep at his house, but I would drive back home. And on a couple occasions, I'd drive home and sleep, and then wake up at like noon, and then drive back to his house and spend the next day there as well. These things happen. And now he lives on my side of town, and I still, whenever I'm at home over Christmas break or over, whenever, I spend every Saturday over at his house. So we hang out a lot. We're very good friends. But even then, he was considering moving back to Oklahoma because he really likes it here. So I figured it's got to be a decent place if he's willing to leave me. Me? Can you believe it? To come back to Oklahoma. And even just driving through here, I didn't get to see much as we were driving along the highway, but it looks very much like driving around Arizona to me. It has a similar landscape to it. Whereas when I was in Tennessee the other day, Knoxville is very nice. It reminds me, I mentioned in the other video, it reminds me very much of State College. The area from Knoxville and then over into where I actually did my interviews. And it also reminds me very much of Kansas and like where my brother used to live in Leavenworth. But it doesn't remind me of Arizona. And considering how much I love Arizona, anything that reminds me of Arizona's got to be, it's getting bonus points, extra credit. So yeah, I got things to read. I got homework to do. Got to check my email since I've been away from the email for the past 10 hours now. And see what comes of it. So, until next time, if I can get to the recording button, bye-bye.